Oh my God!
Yeah.
Did he call it? Fantastic. Okay,
enough with this.
Let me set this one up, if I may.
It's enough with this garbage name talk because
we have a gigantic celebrity on the phone.
A big name. If you're gonna name a kid something, I was thinking about naming the kid this name.
We're huge fans. I got into this movie late, and I got into it late, but it's called King of Kong. It's a documentary on video games, and basically the game, it was about Steve Wiebe, this one guy, versus Billy Mitchell, who's, in my opinion, the greatest video game player of all time.
Who's better?
And that's who we have on the phone line.
What?
The greatest video game player in the history of video games, Mr. Billy Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell? Billy? After a setup like that. Oh, you're
yes,
here!
Billy Mitchell.
Oh, well, when you said Billy, you got me. Mr. Mitchell, that's my dad. He's old and grouchy.
Oh, that's good.
And Billy
That's
Mitchell
good.
is young and full of life. You are on the special delivery show with Sam and Dave.
Yes, I am Dave, and my partner is Sam, and I can't tell you how excited I am to talk to you, basically.
Well, it's funny, listening to your introduction, I'm trying to get a feel for your show, not being familiar with it, even though I know it should be nationwide. It's not. And I don't know if it's a show where I need to be a wise guy or if I need to be serious, if I need to...
You do whatever you want, but...
If we talk about the movie, do you want the Hollywood perspective or do you want the real life? So
no, we want the Mitchell...
I'm shooting from the hip here a little bit.
Okay, let me tell you. Well, first, for starters, we're on Sirius XM satellite radio, so actually we are national. In fact, we can be heard all over North America. So,
okay.
and secondly, we'd love the real life version. Do you feel like you were portrayed accurately? Do you think like there was a little funny business with the editing? Give us the whole scoop.
Oh, I don't think the portrayal is accurate at all. They portrayed me as a much nicer guy than I actually am.
Are you serious?
I'm never serious. That's why I'm Billy Mitchell.
Oh,
Billy
that's good.
fucking Mitchell.
No, but I mean, they definitely made it a sort of black and white thing, sort of a Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, if you will, and you were certainly the
Star Wars
the
reference.
Lord of the Sith. So I'm curious. I mean, do any people give you a hard time, when you're going out playing video games?
Well, does anybody give me a hard time besides your producer who called me?
Oh my God!
Geez, what happened with the producer?
Well, nothing. He just told me. He said if I do the interview today, he'd put the check in the mail immediately in the morning.
That's fair.
All right,
that's fair.
Well, listen, Billy, I will put the check in personally.
In all fairness, your producer was a prince. He called me and he kept telling me, "Would you do this, do that?" I said, "Sure," and he said, "Geez, oh man, you're so nice." And I said, "Well, that's because you don't know me very well." And we laughed a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't say producer. I'd say a guy who kind of dials the numbers.
Yeah, it was
that
a phone
I gave
screener.
him. But that man was Earl Douglas. I would call him the Brian Koo of radio. I hope people have seen King of Kong. I mean, King of Kong is so great. Now, here's another thing about you. Sometimes people forget you were also on MTV True Life, and it was a fantastic episode. I thought you were the highlight of it. But what was that like? I mean, how was that different?
I appreciate that, and to be honest, that was one of my favorite things I've ever done because the gentleman called me, and when he was down here, everything. You might get the impression from that show. You might get the impression from the movie. I don't mean to sound unkind. I don't give the producers much time. If you notice, everywhere they filmed me, I was either in my car or in my office or in my house because, I mean, I have a heavy, heavy life schedule, and the idea that I would fly off to point A, B, or C, just the answer was no. It was always no. So I would say to him, I'd say, sure, I'll be happy to do something with you, but you've got to sort of keep up with me. Well, the guy from MTV was really unique. His name was Pat because everywhere I went, he would go too. If I went with my wife or my kids, including we went to the University of Miami game, football game, and it's kind of funny. Everywhere we went, he enjoyed it. He had his camera in his hand, and he always filmed everything he could, deciding what it was he wanted to use. But he kind of enjoyed it. Whereas very often, film people they're along for the ride, and they, so to speak, and they squeeze in whatever film they can. And I look at them; it's just as soon they'd be sitting there chewing on glass and listening to what happens in my everyday life because it's not exciting enough to put in a film.
Right.
Well, here's what I love about King of Kong that they gave you some history on Billy Mitchell and the video game god that he is.
Yeah.
But then they bring you back and show you that he hasn't just wandered off into obscurity, that he's not only the king of Kong, he's the king of hot sauce.
Yeah, you are the king of hot sauce too, and I plan to buy some hot sauce too. Do you want to plug your hot sauce?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Well, first of all, you guys do a good enough job plugging it. Second of all, I often read the only reason why this guy does interviews, which I haven't done an interview in weeks because I just don't do interviews. But again, gentleman who called me, was very nice, and so I just said okay.
Well, we love you here. We love you.
He's only trying to sell his hot sauce, and I don't sell $50 a week based on video games. I mean, everything I sell is what was built up over the years.
Billy,
but,
may I say this?
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
is
sir.
not my opinion. I know you're no Schmeister or Schleister?
Shyster.
Schlockster?
Shyster.
Shipster.
Shyster.
I know that you're no con man, and I actually have a photo of you in my office on my desk. You are like a real inspiration to me. You're very important. In fact, Billy, I this past summer went to Fun Spot.
You did.
Yes, I did, and I saw. And the cool thing about Fun Spot, in case people don't know, by the way, we are talking to the great Billy Mitchell, the greatest video game player of all time.
On the Special Delivery show starring Sam and Dave.
Exactly. And Fun Spot is, what would you describe it, Billy? Is that like sort of the mecca of video games? Arcades?
That's a better word. I was going to say it's the premier location in the world for classic and beyond classic, too, but classic video game play. It's the forum where video game champions go to strut their stuff.
It's an amazing place. When you go up to like the top floor, they have just an infinite, it almost seems, amount of old school arcade games. Obviously Pac-Man and Miss Pac and all that stuff. And then they also have the Wall of Champions. Mm-hmm. Okay, where it's a bunch of photos of the greatest players of all time. I noticed this, Billy. The Wall of Champions had quite many people on it. You got your own wall.
Of course he did.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I realized that the situation, for lack of a better term, was out of hand when they actually had a 6-foot poster of me from when I did the perfect game. I turned around and I gave him a thumbs up, and it just so happens a gentleman from the Weir's Time snapped a picture, and I went back. The next time I went back, it was blown up 6 foot tall, and it was like. It was the only thing on the wall at the time, and it was amazing. And then what happened was people kept trying to steal it. And they actually framed it. I mean, they caught one girl actually had it already out in the parking lot, and they actually framed it and secured it in. And that's when I thought,
that's hysterical.
Man, this is serious stuff.
Have you ever heard of these posters called Fatheads?
Yes, I have.
They're like, why don't they have a Billy Mitchell Fathead? I will buy 4 of them right now.
No, well, the truth is they've contacted me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got to do it, Billy.
Billy, I will broker the deal for you. How much do you want to get paid? I'll do it for free because I'm a Billy Mitchell disciple. Did you know that I played King Kong on the same machine that Mr. Billy Mitchell played? And, Billy, guess how many levels I got to?
Counting the first one?
Yes.
2.
You are a psychic as well. I got to 2 levels. And I mean, and when you beat King
Kong.
What's it called?
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. When you beat Donkey Kong, how many levels do you have to play in order to beat it?
117.
Holy mackerel.
Here's what I love about
Amazing.
Billy Mitchell.
Amazing.
And another thing we learned from King of Kong, that he was a champion and he still is a champion, and his attitude of a champion has carried him throughout the years. What was the message